One wrong move in an interview, and Tom Cruise will break the conversation and the interviewer. From pranksters with water squirters pulling stunts on the red carpet,
Now, why would you do that?
to clueless interviewers trying to corner Tom with dumb questions.
Why do you ask that question?
These are 11 times Tom Cruise outsmarted rude interviewers and made them instantly regret their questions. Just like what happened with Australian interviewer who ended up on the wrong side of Tom's nerves.
Was Nicole the love of your life?
What do you mean, Peter?
You were married for 10 years.
Listen, we raised children. I mean, how do you answer that? How do you answer that question? She's someone that I plan on getting married again.
You do?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
And having kids?
absolutely.
The interviewer was deliberately pushing into uncomfortable territory, asking questions that were designed to get a reaction. But Tom, he was just warming up. He handled the situation with ease, outsmarting the host without even breaking a sweat.
But Nicole was a major part of your life and a love of your life at the time.
I loved Nick very much. There's no question.
Would you like Nicole to remarry?
Yes. I want Nicole to be happy. That's what I want.
And do you have a relationship where you talk, it's a parenting relationship, and talk professionally about each other's work?
Listen, here's the thing, Peter.
Yeah.
You're stepping over a line now. You're stepping over a line. You know you are.
I suppose they're questions
Peter,
that people want to know.
Peter, you want to know. Take responsibility for what you want to know. Don't say what other people. This is a conversation that I'm having with you right now.
You're right.
Okay, so I'm just telling you right now, okay? Just put your manners back in.
He had to set aside the usual public niceties and put the rude host in his place, and it wouldn't be the last time he found himself clashing with the press. And if you thought that was intense, wait until you see what happened on The Ellen Show. During Tom's first appearance on The Ellen Show, what started as a simple, playful question quickly spiraled into something much more awkward.
And Britney or Christina?
What do you mean?
Britney Spears? I don't know what I mean. I'm not even sure what I mean.
I've never thought about it.
All right.
He dodged Ellen's sharp jabs with the precision of a seasoned diplomat, keeping his cool and avoiding any direct hits. And just when you thought it was over, Tom wasn't done yet. Next up was Jimmy Kimmel, stepping up to try and make Tom look clueless and out of touch.
And to be honest, I use you as a distraction to get to my car.
So I'm trying to help you out with that.
Appreciate that. But are there times where you just want to, get to where you're gonna go? And can you even, could you get on public transportation or go to a museum?
Look, I do. I'm ready for whatever's going to happen. So I don't change my life, but look, I like talking to people, and as I said, I make my movies for them. And
just like before, this was yet another attempt by the media to paint him as some detached superstar, someone too far removed from reality to even handle something as basic as catching public transport. But here's the thing. Tom saw it coming. Watch how he flipped the narrative with a hilarious, yet razor-sharp response.
I do go on transportation. My security loves that when I do that.
Yeah,
the tube in England.
Oh, wait,
I do that. Sometimes I'll put on my hat and my earphones, and I'll just go in and get on the tube just if I want to get to the studio.
Does that work?
Quickly.
Do people stop
Sometimes.
You? It does.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes, people are, during rush hour, I go in and I'll be there. And I remember one time I was there and there was a 14-year-old kid. This girl was there, and everyone was looking at their phones, and I just saw her. I looked over and kind of my head's down. I got my baseball cap, and she's just staring at me like this. And I looked at her, and she looked at me, and she just looked around the subway like this, and then looked back to me and I went.
Kimmel's pointed question, no matter how many times he rephrased it, was met with the same cool, witty comeback. Tom wasn't just playing along, he was outsmarting Kimmel at his own game. But the media's attempts didn't stop there. Just last week, an Asian reporter tried to corner him with a loaded question about Trump's tariffs.
I like to ask this question to anyone who's up for it. I think So I watched the film, and I saw that it was filmed in many different locations around the world, including Africa. And of course, we all are aware of the tariffs that President Donald Trump has been imposing on overseas productions and films. So is this particular movie under that tariff? And also, how much of the film was shot overseas?
If you paid attention, you'd see it Cruise wasn't smiling. His expression was stone cold, but what really cut deep? It wasn't what he said. It was the silence, the piercing non-response that left the reporter squirming.
I think that's a fair answer.
Sometimes saying nothing speaks louder than words, but the heat wasn't always from the press.
Effects of these drugs. Do you know what Adderall is? Do you know Ritalin? Do you know now that Ritalin is a street drug? Do you understand that?
The difference is this was not
Matt,
against
Matt,
her
I'm
will,
ask,
though.
Matt,
but this wasn't
Matt,
against Brooke's will.
Matt, I'm asking you a question.
I understand there's abuse of all of these things.
No, you see, here's the problem. You don't know the history of psychiatry. I do.
Aren't there examples, and might not Brooke Shields be an example of someone who benefited from one of those drugs?
All it does is mask the problem, Matt. And if you understand the history of it, it masks the problem. That's what it does.
There was a time when Tom caught major criticism for speaking out against antidepressants. During that controversy, Matt Lauer, now a prominent Today's News anchor, tried to dismiss him as uninformed and unqualified. But in reality, the one missing the mark was Matt.
That's all it does. You're not getting to the reason why. There is no such thing as a chemical imbalance.
So postpartum depression to you is
Matt,
kind of a little psychological gobbledygook?
No, I did not say that.
I'm just asking, what would you call it?
Matt, that is the post. Now you're talking about two different things.
But that's what she went on the antidepressant for.
But what happens, the antidepressant, all it does is mask the problem. There's ways of vitamins and through exercise and various things. I'm not saying that that isn't real. That's not what I'm saying. That's an alteration of what I'm saying. I'm saying that drugs aren't the answer. That these drugs are very dangerous. They're mind-altering, antipsychotic drugs. And there are ways of doing it without that so that we don't end up in a brave new world. The thing that I'm saying about Brooke is that there's misinformation, okay? And she doesn't understand the history of psychiatry. She doesn't understand in the same way that you don't understand it, man.
A good host knows when to choose their words carefully, especially when interviewing someone like Tom. It's a reminder that sometimes those calling others out need to look closer at themselves first. But believe me, that was nothing compared to what came next, where Tom actually lost his cool.
Now, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Come here. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Not very funny. Can you please?
No, it's okay. No, wait 1 second. What's so funny about that?
During what was supposed to be a straightforward interview, some guy with a video recorder decided to pull a crazy prank squirting water on Tom, and that clip, it's just the beginning.
It's ridiculous. Do you like making less of people? Is that what?
I apologize. I didn't think it would be taken like that. Is that you like
doing mean things to people? That's really. Hey, no. Don't run away. Don't run away. No, let me have one. I don't care. That's incredibly rude. I'm here giving you an interview and answering your questions, and you do something really nasty. You're a jerk. You're a jerk. Well, you know what?
If that doesn't qualify as pure rudeness, then what does? But Tom, he didn't get angry or lose his temper. Instead, he stayed cool and called the guy out, telling him exactly how childish and disrespectful that behavior was. But next time, he wouldn't be so polite. Because what went down with Sophia Boutella during what was supposed to be a friendly promo interview, which started off light and easy, suddenly turned icy cold.
You have these high standards for yourself with these stunts, but everyone else has to step up. Russell Crowe has said that in this film, he plays Dr. Jekyll. You have a fabulous fight scene, and he said you both had a discussion. You said, you know what, let's both just absolutely go for it.
Yeah. And look, he's an amazing athlete. He's a very good stuntman himself also. And, you know, if you look at the fight sequence that we have together, It was, we really had a lot of fun doing that.
He said he got bruised. I don't know how much fun he had.
Both of us got bruised. When he picks me up and slams me on that table, you know, he's...
It's a real table.
At first, Sophia's questions about the fight scene with Russell Crowe were all smooth sailing. But then, out of nowhere, a second interviewer fired a brutal question at Tom, disguised as innocent curiosity.
Yeah, he's got to do it.
So do you walk away from that and go, he would actually beat me if we went at it properly? If you had a fight properly?
Why do you ask that question? Why even? It's like I don't even think of stuff like that. I don't even think like I'm going to fight my
that's
friend.
Right, because you're always thinking of the audience when you're making people.
Exactly. He's my friend. You know, that would never happen.
Tom's sharp, unforgettable response completely threw the interviewer off balance, leaving them embarrassed in front of everyone. Honestly, who even comes up with a question that dumb? But what happens when a subtle jab comes your way, hinting that being a Hollywood star somehow makes you less human?
Can people actually be that way with you, Tom? If we're going back to Mission Impossible, one of my favourite bits of tech in that movie is, of course, the masks, right? And the reveal. Fun. If you could have a mask of just an average person, no one knows who you are, and you could walk about your life, no one knows that you're Tom Cruise, what are you doing?
Beg your pardon?
What are you doing? Like, it's not you.
What would I do?
Yeah, what would you do? No one knows it's you. They can't be there.
No, but I just do the same thing I always do.
Go watch movies.
Go watch movies. Exactly. Go make movies. Go tour the world. You know, I feel look, it's a privilege. It's a dream of mine my whole life to do what I do.
That's exactly what Tom faced. The dig was subtle, almost disguised as a casual remark about his lifestyle. But Tom didn't flinch. He didn't complain or snap back. Instead, he owned it with poise. His response wasn't defensive or dismissive. It was thoughtful, measured, and completely disarming.
So hi Tom, how are you?
Hello, very well, thank you.
So when I read about this movie, I said, well, this is a typical movie for Al Pacino or for Robert De Niro, and then you went and took that role upon yourself.
This next interview might be almost 20 years old, but Tom's response still hits hard. When Ron Jacobson decided to take a cheap shot during a 2000 for interview, he downplayed Tom's role in Collateral, saying it felt like a knockoff of Al Pacino's work. But Tom wasn't about to let that slide. He shut it down with a calm, precise response, one that made it clear he wasn't going to tolerate disrespect.
I mean, I don't get afraid to take on characters. I get excited, you know. There's always that question of, is it going to work? Will I be able to do it? To what level? But I really enjoy starting a character and just having at it, you know, and see what happens.
It was short, it was sharp, and it left Jacobson with nowhere to go. But wait, Tom wasn't done yet. Just when it looked like the Australian interviewer had dodged a bullet, Tom struck again. This time with a move so sharp and unexpected, it left the interviewer speechless. Smooth, calculated, and delivered with perfect timing.
I'm just telling you right now, okay? Just put your manners back in.
Do you think I was out of line?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I apologise for that
Good.
sincerely.
Good.
But when I read so much about you, Tom, these are questions you answer.
Peter, you want to waste your time on this right now?
I don't.
Or do you want to ask some other questions?
20 years' time, where will Tom Cruise?
Good. You want to move on? Peter, come on. Let's go, man.
It was classic Tom proving once again, you don't mess with him unless you're ready for the fallout.